All right, we got some news, y'all. Terry Rozier is going to be signing a 4-year, $97 million extension with the Charlotte Hornets. I just saw it right now, so I'm processing as we speak. My thinking is it's good for Terry, of course. Congratulations, man. My God, that's a fantastic contract for him and his family. He's paid his dues. He deserved that money. He's been worthy of that type of payday for a long time. He just hasn't always been in a position to have the roles that would allow him to showcase his talent. But that is a real player. And I'm hopeful that he'll make an all-star team before his career ends because he's a lighted up type of offensive talent and a hard worker. Hard worker with a lot of um, killer instinct. So as far as I'm concerned, he's a player I want. That price, I believe he can play it up to. He can play up to that. I think it's pricey. I'm not going to pretend like it's not pricey, but he's one of those guys where you're going to be happy to have him on your team, and you're not going to really care how much he's making. You're really not. Um, I think the issue becomes now we're talking about from a contract standpoint. Did Charlotte kind of hurt themselves a little bit with this one? Um, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Um, because it becomes a situation where you're like, okay, have they paid PJ? Have they paid Bridges? Have do you have extension money on the table ready for Melo? Obviously, you need to keep him. Do you have the center that you want to have? I know they brought in Plumlee. Are you sure that's the answer at center? These are the type of questions I have for the Charlotte Hornets to where I'm like, still got Gordon Hayward on the books. I don't love it. I don't love it. Now, when it comes to extensions, it's a little different because you can manage the cap a little differently on that. So I would have to look at this to know how informed how right I am about how I'm feeling. But I'm just not certain. I'm really not certain that you helped yourself in terms of being able to get the most out of opportunities that may be coming about later on. Like, let's say a player comes up and you suddenly want to sign a certain guy. You can't sign that guy because you're not going to have the money because you're paying all these other guys. This contract, in theory, looks like it could be a deterrent, I guess is what you're saying. Um, but it's not, like I said, you'd rather it be attached to a player like this who you know can drop 40 on a great night, who you know is not going to make a fuss about not starting, who you know can play multiple positions in the guard spots, who you know is going to play both sides of the floor. He's a defensive player as well. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Scary Terry plays some good D. So this is a player I'd love to have, man. Straight up. I'm not going to sit up here and say otherwise. I'm just wondering if at that price for that franchise, if this was a good decision. Um, and my gut says no. My gut says not for them. Not for them. But um, I don't have any worries about Scary Terry. He's not a player who's had any real injuries at all. He's not a guy that's missing games. You got to worry about being a locker room guy. That's a problem or anything. None of that is part of the Scary Terry resume. Not at all. So, hey, as far as I'm concerned, they got their starting shooting guard. That's how they need to play this. That, like I said, they do have a lot of things that they can do with their roster. That's what I love about this Charlotte Hornet roster. Most of the players on it can play multiple positions. Most of the players on it have some playmaking ability, including Scary Terry. So they're going to have good ball movement, all kinds of athleticism. This Charlotte Hornet team is very, very close to a playoff team this year and will only get better as the years increase, in my opinion. I just worry what pieces they're going to have to let go of when it's time to pay people. But I think most teams have that problem. I think most teams have to have that problem. I think if you're trying to build a basketball team that can win, you got to play the price of the players that you're trying to build around. You got to pay. You got to pay the price. And this is the price on Scary Terry. He has good representation. Make sure he got his money. And Charlotte doesn't have exactly the easiest way of getting players to stay with them historically. So this is something that I want to take a time to say sometimes this is what's worked into the price. the fact that the franchise isn't the Lakers, the Heat, the whomever. Charlotte's going to have to pay a little more to get a guy to stay there. You know, just like a team like Sacramento may have to pay a little more to get a guy to stay there. It's just part of it. You're paying small markets tax, so to speak. It's not a real thing, but it's definitely something you're paying for nevertheless. So I think that's worked into why he received what he got. Still deserving, still very deserving. So all in all, I give this move like a C plus. If I'm gonna say anything about it, it's a C plus because you love the player, you just don't love the price. You love the price for the player, you just don't love it for that franchise. So it's not bad. I do believe as long as he doesn't have any injury issues or nothing like that, it should be movable. You know, it's not like you're not going to be able to get something back for him. He can get you his first round pick. He can get you some good players if you have to trade. He can with some other stuff. You can get a star back with Scary Terry, most definitely. So not bad. Just not loving the price tag. If you shave off maybe about $12-13 million, happy go lucky. I think if he's making the exact same price tag, say like the 77 that Smart got, I would say you give him a little more because he's a more offensive. He's much more of an offensive threat than Marcus Smart. So you kind of tend to think you can fit him in better situations. You can put him in more environments. Probably rate him higher than Marcus Smart at this stage in his career. So that you pay him more, but 97, I think that's what they said. That's a little more than I would like. So that's that, man. That's that. I don't want to harp on that. It's all about just making sure you have the talent that can keep your team in contention. And I look at that team and I say they have most of what they need. That center position could be improved upon, but other than that, I think that Charlotte team is ready to go out there and rock. I got them being above average, but unfortunately, this is a difficult Eastern Conference. If this was the Eastern Conference of like maybe 4 years ago, the Charlotte team is going to be in the top 5. But this year, they may still miss the playoffs, even though they're going to be very good and very competitive. So, play in maybe. They're in that Celtics range. That I look at maybe the Pacers in that range. The Knicks I got in that range as well. They're going to be fighting for those final 8 to 10 spots. I mean, final 5 spots, I guess is what you could say. So that's what I got, man. That's my say for this situation. Congratulations to Scary Terry for re-signing with the Charlotte Hornets. Congratulations to Charlotte Hornets for continuing to boost your roster. And that's pretty much what I got. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching.